What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. Of course, this is your host, Trey, and today we're going to go ahead and talk about this round one Eastern Conference matchup you got between the Philadelphia 76ers traveling to the New York Knicks. This game will be played at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Line opened up at 207.5. New York minus 2.5. It has since moved to over under 209 with New York minus 3 or 3.5 on some books. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this real quick. So these two teams, Philadelphia 76ers, are coming in the series with plenty of momentum as they capped off the regular season with 8 straight wins before they kept the streak alive with a gritty 105-104 win against the Heat on Wednesday in the play-in. And then the New York Knicks, meanwhile, they are also coming into this series with some solid momentum as they reeled off 5 straight wins and capped off the regular season with a 120-119 overtime win over the Bulls on Sunday. Okay, so when you're looking at these two teams, first thing you got to check out is the injury report. Philadelphia is coming to this game. Of course, Joel Embiid is going to be questionable, but we know he's going to be playing. All right, DeAnthony Melton's going to be out with that back. He's dealing with back injury, and he will not be active for game 1. Robert Covington, he's also going to be out due to that knee effusion for the remainder of the season. Then when you're looking at the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson with the ankle is probable, but it is likely that he will be active in the game. And then Julius Randle, well, we already know he's still out with that shoulder surgery. Okay, now when you're looking at the matchup between these two teams, you're looking at the number 15 offense, which is averaging 114.5 points per game in Philly, and you're looking at the number 3 overall defense in the NBA, which is the New York Knicks, and they're only giving up 108.2 points per game. Whereas in the inverse, the Knicks are scoring 112.8 points per game with the 19th offense in the NBA, and Philadelphia they're the number 9 defense in the NBA, giving up 111.5 points per game. All right, any advantages here? Well, let's see. Okay, Philly likes to score a lot of points off of their fast break. The number 8 in the NBA, averaging 15.7 points per game, and New York's giving up 13.8. So they will be able to get to those fast break points. And when you're looking at inverse advantages for the Knicks are always going to have the total rebounds advantage over opponents. They're always going to have the assist. They're always, especially when it's coming against the Philly, like they got an advantage in all those situations defensively. Whereas you look offensively versus Philly's defense, the Knicks really don't get a break anywhere except for in the rebounding column. Everything else, Philly's defense is better than the New York Knicks offense overall, and that means a lot, especially when you're looking at shooting percentages. Okay, so where they get their points from. All right, so we all know Philly is gonna get points at the free throw line. They're number 2, but the Knicks don't foul. They're number 1 and not giving up free throw percentages and points. So that's going to cancel itself out, even though we know Joel Embiid is going to try to draw fouls. That's what he does. He gets a lot of his points through drawing a lot of crazy fouls. That's just what he does. He baits people into it. What can I say? As far as these two teams in shooting percentage matchups, though, they're pretty evenly matched. There's no advantage for Philly, and there's no advantage for the Knicks. I mean, their offenses are all middle of the pack in every single category. Now, for Philly, could that be because Joel Embiid was out for so many games? Yeah. He was out a lot for a long time, man, with that injury. And that severely hampered this team. That's why they had to go through the play-in to even come in. All right, so in the last 10 games, these two teams match up head-to-head. It's 5-5. Straight up even. All right, it's 5-5 against the spread, straight up even, and it's 4 to the over, 6 to the under. These two teams play each other hard. They have played each other 4 times this year. Okay, like since the beginning of 2024, they played each other 4 times. Philly, 2 games in Philly and 2 games in New York. New York won both the games in Philly, and Philly won 1 game in New York. Okay, when they last played on March 12th, New York won 106-79. Now, please remember that throughout this whole time we're talking about right here, Joel Embiid was basically out. Okay, so they weren't playing the Philly team of Philly, and this game has gone under all 4 times they have played each other this season. So hence why the line has stayed around that 208-207 number. All right, and when you're looking at how these two teams match up situationally, okay, now against the spread and straight up. So we'll go straight up, right? As a home favorite. the Knicks are coming in here straight up 24-6. All right, whereas an away underdog, all right, the Phillies coming in here 7-15 as an away underdog. Now remember, a lot of that's without Joel Embiid. So let's go against the spread. Home favorite 17-13 for the Knicks. Away underdog, we got 12-10 for Philly. Okay, now when we're looking at how these two teams are over under as a home favorite, the Knicks are 12-18. Okay, so it's 12 to the over, 18 to the under. Whereas as an away underdog, it's 10 to the over and 12 to the under for Philly. All right, now but you got to pay attention to how these two teams have been playing recently. All right, so when you're looking at the last 10 games out there, Philly's 9-1 straight up. Okay, they've lost. The last time they lost was back on March 29th, and that was in Cleveland. All right, 114-117, and they did cover that. All right, they've covered. They didn't cover against Miami the other day in the play-in, but they have covered 9 of the last 10 games. They're 9-1 against the spread, 7 to the over, 3 to the under, guys, in the last 10 games. So remember, even the Miami game went over the 208.5. Okay. Now, was it close to going on under that? Yeah, but even they went over in that game, and they scored 105 points against that Miami defense. Remember, they had a 12-point. They were down 12 points at one point. I mean, they had to make a real serious comeback to make this game work. Now, the last 3 games they played against Miami, Brooklyn, and New York. They won all 3 of those games because they are 9-1 in the last 10 on a 9-game win streak. Okay, and they only covered. They covered 2 out of those 3 games. Of course, we know they didn't cover that 5.5 against Miami, and that game went over. But the last 3, it's 2 overs, 1 under. Whereas when you're looking at New York is 6-4 straight up in their last 10. They're coming in on a 5-game win streak. Okay, their last 3 they played against Chicago, Brooklyn, and Boston at Boston. Okay. They lost against the spread in 2 of their last 3, but they're 9-1, 9 to the over, 1 to the under in their last 10 games. So they've been playing a lot of overs. Last under they had was against Chicago back on April 5th, and they played them 2 more times since then, and those games went over. Okay, so to let you know what type of ball New York's playing right now, they are trying. Then it's not like they're trying to do this, but this is what they're having to do. They don't have the big men that they need. They can't slow the game down like they would like to. They're scoring a lot of threes. It's completely different from what they were playing at the beginning of the season. All right, but it's working for them, so you can't be mad at what's working for you. All right, so in the last 3 games, all right, these 2 teams come in. The Knicks Phillies averaging 112.3 points per game while giving up 101 points per game, winning by an average margin of 11.3 points. And then New York scoring 116.3 points and giving up 111.7 points per game in the last 3. All right. In this situation, just on the season, Philly scoring 113.7 points per game on the road while giving up 112.5. And the New York Knicks are scoring 111.2 points at Madison Square Gardens and giving up 105.3. All right, so what do I like in this game? Well, I got to give you this fact first, okay? 76ers have won each of their last 9 games. The 76ers have covered the spread in 10 of their last 11 games, and each of the 76ers' last 9 night games against the Knicks following a home win have gone under the total points line. And then when you talk about the Knicks have won each of their last 15 games as favorites when playing with a rest advantage. The Knicks have failed to cover the spread in 8 of their last 9 home games following a win. And each of the Knicks' last 11 Eastern Conference first-round home games have gone under the total points line. So, Knicks giving up 3.5. Do I trust them? No. Philly's coming in this game hot. So, I got to take Philly with the 3.5. I'm sorry. I think this series is going to go 7. And I think Philly has an opportunity to steal one tonight, at least against the spread. So, I'm definitely going to take that 3.5. Do I believe it's going to go under, though? I'm not too sure about that, man. All right, like I know that they played each other hard, and I know that it has gone over all. It's gone under all 4 times that these 2 teams have matched up this season. So, do I believe it's going to go under? Man, not the way New York's been playing. It's been 9 games that you had go over. You know what I mean? Like we're not talking about playing against bums. They were playing against Chicago, who made it in and just got eliminated yesterday. They played against Boston. They played against Chicago again. They played against Milwaukee. They played against Chicago. They played against Sacramento, Miami, OKC. Like, they did this against good teams, and that's just how it's been rocking out for them lately. So I gotta go. I gotta press the line. I gotta go over, man, on this one. My lean would be over, but I'm definitely liking Philly plus the 3.5 right now. I'm probably gonna play that. All right. So hope this information helps y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe, man.